More time, really, sorry.
Terrific.
Good morning, thanks for having us. Thanks, guys. Were you covering for me? Is that what you're doing?
We're trying to,
Oh,
but we said
Jeff
no
and I
to
were getting
ask the
so
mayor
caught
to
up.
table it.
Okay, let's get going. Well, good morning. Well, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be providing you with an update. We've had a busy summer. We didn't take very much time off. I want to thank Daniel and Marguerite for their continued efforts and support, and I'm privileged to be speaking on their behalf. So I want to give you a quick rundown on a few items that we continue to call the low-hanging fruit that we've been handling and seeing through to fruition. One is the refurbishment of the Normandy Fountain. That's going along very well, and we are prepared to commit to a date when it will be open, but it's very, very soon. It will be in the fall, and we look forward to more updates on that and having a big kickoff event very, very soon for Normandy Fountain. We are engaging a management firm to ensure more and diverse events at the bandshell. We are working to have an installation of a city-owned top-flight sound system also at the bandshell to have better sound and a better customer experience for the programming that's going to happen at the bandshell. Working also to have an all-weather tent that'll cover the bandshell to make the facility more attractive and more marketable, again, with an effort to have more events taking place at the bandshell. We have received city and VCA incentives for events to take place in North Beach. Working on having additional kayak launches to facilitate the family-friendly nature of North Beach and its waterways, and working with the police department to have additional security cameras installed in North Shore Open Space Park. That's an update on the low-hanging fruit. We've also been engaged in longer-term issues that affect North Beach. Let me first start with the historic preservation issue. As you know, there was a meeting yesterday of the HPB, and after much discussion, the panel members of the HPB, they had apparently yesterday they went forward with the creation of a North Shore and Normandy Isles local historic district. We had asked that they delay that decision while we engage in further study, but we understand that they want to move forward. So we would have preferred for a delay so that a more comprehensive vision for historic preservation of the districts could be studied, so we had a more integral, so we could have had a more integral part of an overall area revitalization effort. But I guess that'll be coming up to you guys.
Maybe you all could, I don't know if you have time to stay around, because we'll try to hear it maybe before lunchtime. But your recommendation from your panel is you want further study?
So we wanted further study. We're not saying not to do it. We're just saying give us more time, give everyone more time to study the issue.
Thank you.
We're not against historic preservation by any means, just wanted more time to study. Given all the efforts of the last 6 months,
right,
and I'm going to get into a few more updates for you in a second, we thought it was prudent just to give us a little more time to do something more comprehensive, more elegant, that really takes a comprehensive look at all of North Beach, to do it right and not to rush into things. That's all we asked. We've been very busy in creating a marketing campaign and overall branding efforts for North Beach. We've had some really wonderful meetings with Turkel Brands, and again, I want to thank the CVB. I saw Bill Talbert here a second ago, and Rolando. Oh, hey, they've been really, really good to work with and very helpful in helping us create the brand for North Beach, and we're very excited that in the near future we'll show you the results of those efforts. And again, to Bruce Turkel, who's really been outstanding to work with and a great creative vision. We have other topics I want to bring to your attention. One of the things that we had talked about a couple months back was just additional code compliance officers for North Beach. Appearance is a big issue in North Beach. They've been wonderful so far. They've been vigilant in their efforts. We just think that they might be understaffed, and we might want to consider how we address the issues of additional code compliance efforts in North Beach so that appearance in North Beach continues to be top of mind. We also want to talk about the fact that there's a public need for restrooms in the first phase of the Altos Del Mar Park construction. Right now, there are no bathrooms there, and so that's creating an undesired effect, let's say. So we would like to see restrooms included in the first phase of the construction of Altos Del Mar Park, and happy to talk to you further about that.
Sure.
In addition, we would like to request that we engage West 8, the design firm West 8, to immediately start design improvement plans for North Shore Open Space Park. They're I think, ready to go, and so we would like to see them engaged sooner rather than later. Want to request that whatever funds are going to come from the transfer of 87th Terrace from the Terra Group project remain in North Beach, and particularly in the parks. Additionally, we need additional parking in North Beach, particularly for Town Center, and we understand that there's an item on today's agenda to purchase air rights over the AT&T property for future parking, and that should be considered because parking is an issue and will be more of an issue in the future in North Beach as all of our revitalization efforts take effect. Finally, the panel supports the O Cinema's use of the Byron Carlisle, and the sooner we can get that done, we think it would be great for the area. But with regard to the Byron Carlisle, we need to continue to investigate the long-term uses of the site. And we're working on some suggestions for the City Commission. Two final requests. We ask that the city hire a master planner to prepare a detailed and comprehensive plan for North Beach.
Yes.
The items to be considered would be historic preservation, long-term planning and parking issues, the future use of the west lots, and a comprehensive plan for North Beach parks.
Okay.
Along with master planning, and actually I want to thank Commissioner Tobin for the observation and the suggestion that in addition to a master planner, that the master planning team include an engineer that can redesign the North Shore neighborhood improvement projects, so that as we're doing master planning, we make sure that this will actually work and not just be a beautiful plan. So we want to also make sure that we engage the appropriate engineer firms to go along with the master planning. And that concludes my update.
Great. Mr. Manager, where are we on the master planning? Have we begun to?
Well, I believe that, like we've done with Washington Avenue, we tapped one of our internal contracts, and I believe Alan Schulman has been working on the first $25,000 massing study.
Okay.
We've actually gotten some very good preliminary, even before we had to issue a PO, to talk about good faith, he had produced already some preliminary documents, and we're working down that path. And I know West 8 had, because they've been working, I know the developer of the North End, had already begun doing some work, really pro bono as per the developer direction, on North Shore Open Space Park. But obviously, once that moves forward, we hopefully will have a significant funding source to do significant things there. So both, I think, are already underway in the process.
Any commissioners have any questions of our North Beach Blue panel? Commissioner Tobin?
Yeah, I'd like to suggest, I had the privilege of attending one of the meetings recently for North Beach Development, and they've got a lot of great ideas, and I think it would be important for them to have perhaps a meeting from time to time, more often than not, with the city manager himself, because they've got some ideas that I hate to see a good group like this have great ideas that they don't get to execute, and there's a tendency in this government process for things to slow down, and I hate to see, as long as we have these people with such great energy, maybe you could have a formal meeting with them and promote some of their great ideas. And number one, for instance, the bathroom at Altos Del Mar.
I knew you were going to talk about that.
I know it's a small thing, but I think it's important. But the master planner, for instance, to work with them, to help them. And also just Jeff, our economic development gentleman, I had an opportunity to speak to him after the meeting. And I said, Jeff, we've been struggling with North Beach forever. You know, what's the story? He said, I'm working on this 200-page analysis. And I said, well, until that's ready, tell me what your ideas are for North Beach. He said, well, it feels like it's an apartment complex now, just a parking lot. And who wants to go outside in the parking lot? He said, I had a great idea that maybe we ought to centralize some parking, you know, maybe grid up North Beach, centralize some parking for a 2 or 3 block neighborhood, and then you could eliminate the parking in front of each building except for handicapped and let people park somewhere else, and then you could have, you know, a boulevard shade tree. I mean, he has a lot of really good ideas, and he's a very talented guy.
Terrific.
And with this group and him, I think they need a method for cutting through the bureaucracy.
That's a great idea.
So that they don't have to struggle.
Mr. Manager?
Number one, I'd be happy to meet on a regular basis. I've attended some of the meetings. Kathy Brooks, the ACM, is, I think, at every meeting, as are a lot of the directors. So it's not like they meet in a vacuum. They do meet with a lot of staff. But I certainly, and they bring issues to me, and we are trying to move things forward as fast as we can. But if there are things falling through the crack, you know, I know all 3 of them well. Please, I'd be happy to meet regularly.
Maybe we do like a more of a formal meeting.
Sure.
I'll give you an example. CIP was there, David Martinez. David's a talented guy who builds things. So David's there to present, but we haven't done any plans to build anything yet. So while David is told he should go to that meeting, and David says, hey, I'm here to help, we haven't designed anything to build anything yet. So when I spoke to David, he said, you know, candidly, I'd love to have a project to work on, but we haven't done anything. We haven't.
Okay.
So you may send different department heads to these meetings, and they show up and they announce themselves, and they have great titles, and they're in charge of great departments, but until we have a design to build, sending the guy that builds things to the meeting,
Right.
it feels good, but they need to know that all their work is hot on the burner.
We'll schedule potentially a formal meeting, Mr. Manager.
Be happy to.
With North
Be
Beach,
happy
because
to.
it's such an important part.
And you decide what it is that you want to get done, and then you know you have the support here to get things
Absolutely,
done.
100%.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Whitehorn, you'd like to say?
I want to thank you because I know what you're doing is a thankless task. And I want to say that irrespective, and we all get criticism, I'm going to get plenty today, that what you guys have done is throw a bunch of ideas out there. And they don't all work and they're not all great. But the fact that you're not afraid to discuss them all and look at them all and think that perhaps that they will help us move forward, I have to tell you that I thank you as a North Beach resident. And what I hear from the residents is also positive. They don't agree with everything you say, but the fact that you're willing to talk about any idea and see if it works for North Beach is the most we have seen from a city administration in a number of years. And so I know that what you do is sometimes thankless, and I specifically wanted to tell you thank you for being unafraid.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ricky Ariola, Marguerite Ramos, Daniel Vallejo, you guys are the dream team. You've been unbelievable, and we just want you to keep it up.
Thanks, guys.
You've been really, really
And
terrific.
you guys are the Dream Commission.
And we thank you so much. The only thing I don't like, of course, is Marguerite Ramos dumped that ice bucket on my head.
Oh, really?
You
Did
know?
you really? I didn't see
And she
that.
took too much pleasure
That's
in it.
great.
That's all I noticed. It was a very hot day. It was terrific.
It's,
Great.
honestly, I've said it before, it's a pleasure to work with the staff, really. And
Great.
and
Yeah.
Kathy is awesome, and Jeff is awesome, and Max, and, you know, the list is long.
Great.
We have a great spirit of cooperation, and, you know, big things are going to come, and we're going to
Definitely.
make you proud.
It's a great. Ricky, do you guys have time to stick around a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we probably take up another issue. We'd love to get your input.
Sure.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.